This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
The right has a peculiar habit of elevating people into positions of influence who are dum-dums, who are woefully lacking in the ability to extrapolate more complex ideas or at the very least communicate them to an audience. And Charlie Kirk is maybe chief among them. Charlie Kirk, he is the gentleman with the face with the giant pumpkin head that surrounds it. He is on a speaking tour right now. I'm looking at the screenshot here. Educate, Don't Mandate tour. And in this particular clip is a lesson in, let's back up. There's a phrase that is, correlation does not necessarily imply causation. And in this clip, Charlie Kirk, for whatever galaxy-brained, smooth-brained moron reason, correlates being a liberal in how high the building is that you live. I'm serious. It's not a joke in the sense that you're thinking. Watch this and we'll talk about it on the other side.
We have a huge housing crisis in our country, the likes of which we have not seen in a long period of time. But I believe that we need to build horizontally, not vertically. It's one of my speeches. Developers don't like it when I say this, but it's true. The higher the building, the more liberal the voter. It just is. So, and if you are, the closer to the ground you are, the more conservative you are. We should encourage people to spread horizontally and not vertically. Look at Denver. The higher the high rises, has Denver become less free or more free? It's become a dystopian nightmare. You guys know that. Now you might say, Charlie, that's a correlation with a causation. Think about it. If you're on the 32nd floor renting, not owning, if you're not in the weeds and in the yard and understanding what it takes to grow food and to maintain the land, are you going to be more or less likely to actually be a conservative? The higher the building, every single study shows they become more liberal over time. It's happening in Phoenix, happened in Denver, happened in Atlanta, happened in Dallas, happened in Chicago, happened everywhere, and yet few people actually say that out loud. Whatever.
The reason few people say it out loud, you clown, you makeup-free clown, is because it's not true. It's a ridiculous thing to assert. Not to mention the fact that to claim that people who, they have a lawn and they're learning how to grow food, like the suburbs are just chock full of gardens and farmers. It is absurd. Now, to the point, to prove the point that correlation in no way automatically maps on to causation, I've got some charts to show you here. And they're pretty fabulous. So maybe Charlie Kirk should be shared this video so he can understand the difference between correlation and causation. Here's the first chart. Apparently, the number of people who died by becoming tangled in their bed sheets is correlated to the total revenue generated by skiing facilities in the United States. Charlie Kirk, if he was to make the argument, would say that one caused the other. How about this? U.S. spending on science, space, and technology is correlated to suicides by hanging, strangulation, and suffocation. Apparently, people wanted that money allocated elsewhere and became so distraught that they took their own life. Come on, Charlie Kirk. Divorce rate in Maine directly correlated here to the per capita consumption of margarine in the United States. Yeah, they're definitely linked. Right, Charlie? The higher the building you live, the more liberal the voter. So let me ask you this. If we build a building that is 10 miles high, will it be even more liberal than, say, someone who's living in the 30th story of a building? U.S. crude oil imports from Norway directly correlated to drivers killed in collision with railway train. How do you explain that, Charlie Kirk? Human thumb. Per capita consumption of sour cream in the United States is directly tied to motorcycle riders killed in non-collision transport accidents. Per capita consumption of mozzarella cheese in the United States is directly tied to civil engineering doctorates awarded in the United States. Maybe along with your diploma for civil engineering, your doctorate, they also give you like a lifetime supply of sour cream. Number of people who drown by falling into a swimming pool is it's similarly correlated with the number of films Nicolas Cage has appeared in. Oh, Charlie Kirk. By the way, an influential figure in the conservative sphere of influence with our youth, with America's youth, conservative youth. The age of Miss America is directly correlated to murders by steam, hot vapors, and hot objects. Something to look into, Charlie Kirk. And of course, we'll end with this one here. Per capita consumption of chicken in the United States is directly correlated to the total U.S. crude oil imports. How, pray tell, Charlie Kirk, would you be able to link some kind of a causal link to that? Since liberals live in high buildings and conservatives live in little tiny flat houses. Look, this is funny, but it is also tragic. It is also dangerous because this person is looked upon as an intellect, an influential person, a thought leader in conservative circles is Charlie Kirk. He's not just a shameless, Trump-supporting, fascist-enabling grifter. He's also a thought leader. What do you think about that? I'd love to know. You can call. Leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Listen, if you know somebody who is a Charlie Kirk devotee, one, get a hold of that person, but share this video with them. Whether it be for the laughs or the information, there are better conservatives out there to hold up as a paragon of intellectualism, and Charlie Kirk ain't it. Follow me on social media. I'd love to connect with you there. I'm at Dollemore just about everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at Dollemore. And if I bring you some value, whether that be a laugh, learning about the linkage of the consumption of chicken to U.S. crude oil imports, then consider becoming a channel member here on YouTube. You can click the join button below. For as little as $1.99, you can become a channel member and help produce what I'm doing here. Or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I love you guys. Thanks for engaging with my content, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, all of the things that the YouTubers say to do. That would be great. Anyway, I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.